Hi everyone, and I am so sorry. It's been a while. I'm really, really sorry. I've been busy with project, but I want to say thank you to everyone. I was like, Blessing, what's up? What's up? So, I'm here again, and I'm like, this month of April, we're gonna start again. As you know, my name is Blessing, and the main purpose of this platform is to try to encourage couples or those that are planning to get married that marriage or marital issues is not a way for you to go through the route of divorce, but there are other ways to go around and solve the problem. I don't know if because I'm not yet married, but I try to invite couples that have been together for more than 10 years to tell us what is the secret. And today I have a special couple with me. Uh, Let me introduce them to you. Yay! So can you please tell us your name and how long you've been married?
I'm Sharon.
Great.
And I'm Rod. We've been married almost 41 years.
Wow, 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 wow. 41. Okay, so can you please tell us how you met? Like just how did you meet?
How much time do you have? Well, my
Tell me.
version is a little different than Rod's, but basically, we met in college. We were at university, and I happened to be engaged to another person.
Interesting.
Yes, yes.
Oh wow.
But Rod's story is when he first saw me.
When I first saw her, I fell in love.
Oh.
And then I found out she was engaged, and I guess not.
But it was the kind of thing where we happened to be in an ensemble together, and I felt like I could talk to him and relate more to him than I could just in a casual manner than I could the person that I was engaged to and had been dating through high school. And so it came to me that I should probably cut that off. That was a good time to do it before you get married.
Mm.
Make those hard decisions before you get married. And so we dated and got married.
Right, right. I don't always ask this question, but how did you know he was the one? Like you were engaged to some kid. Like how did you know he was the special one?
I really don't know. I just know that
The face.
it wasn't a matter of, you know how sometimes when you date someone, you feel like it's all about where you go and the gifts that you get and that kind of thing. And that was that previous relationship. But with him, we could just sit and talk. And I felt like I could be married to this person forever and never get bored.
Wow.
And that's true. I'm never bored. Ever, ever, ever bored.
41 years, never
For
broke.
41, well, 42 and a half years since
Oh,
we've
wow.
known each other.
Okay.
You know, never bored, always just on this journey together. And that was true. So I guess it wasn't all about the things and the situations around our relationship. It was the fact that we enjoyed each other so much.
Right. Thank you, thank you. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so what is the secret? Like 41 years, are you telling me that there've not been any issues around, or like, what has been the secret?
No, if you say you don't have any issues in marriage, you're married to a mushroom.
That's a good one.
Everybody, I imagine, has issues.
Okay.
But I think our secret is we always have to work through them. You can't just ignore them. You have to work through them. You have to talk about what they are. You don't have to always talk about why they happen, because that extends them. But you have to talk through them and come to a resolution. I can't sleep at night if I haven't resolved. If she and I have a disagreement or an argument, I can't sleep until we've resolved it.
And he's really good at that. Sometimes I just want to shove it under the rug or just say, oh, no, it's not important. And he'll say, no, you know what? This really is important. And so I think, especially in a society where women are usually the ones that always want to talk and work it out, I think to have the husband be that person and say, you know what? I know this is going to bug you forever unless we can work it out. I think that's a big piece of it too.
Great, great. So the secret is to talk out and try to figure out a way out. But what about if you have a partner that is not ready to talk? Just like, I mean, if you have a partner that maybe he's the husband and he's the kind of man that just leave that that's done, like what would you do? I know I shouldn't ask this, but
I don't know, because we don't have that kind of relationship.
However, we have said to each other, I'm not ready to talk yet.
okay.
It's too painful
Mm.
to talk right now. Because sometimes you feel bad and you hurt, and you're just not ready to talk. You just want to just cool your
That's true.
heels for a bit. And so we express that to each other and say, you know what, I'm really hurting. I'm not ready to talk right now. Just leave me alone for a while, and then we'll make sure we get together. But leave me alone right now.
Right now, I'm hurting too badly to talk. You hurt me,
Yeah.
and I'm not ready to forgive you yet. I will be, but I'm not ready yet.
Wow.
And I do have to say a couple other things too. Very early on, we had a wonderful mentor kind of person who kind of gave us some hints about how to stay together. And one of the things that he said is, if you can put a hedge around your marriage and not let anything or any person come in the way of that.
Mm.
And so we've been kind of outside the park in terms of different people's attitude in relationships with other people. And we made a pact with each other that we wouldn't have lunch or dinner or a special meeting or anything like that with a person of the opposite sex without another person in the room.
Okay.
And so that kind of, I think, most people go, oh, there's nothing wrong with, you know, him going to lunch with like one of his students who might be a woman or a secretary or something like that. But we just decided, it doesn't matter what other people think. We're going to make that pact with each other. And I think that's been one of the secrets too, is that we don't have any opportunities to be jealous when maybe there shouldn't be a reason to be jealous, but there's just a little hint of, oh, maybe there's something going on,
And
or,
I believe that when a man and a woman are in a room together, alone, there's always some sexual tension. And another person in the room diffuses that.
Wow.
we got
Thank
off
you.
on a little side
Yeah,
trail
no,
there.
it's really good. It's really great. Thank you. Thank you. Second to the last question is like, for the 41 years you've been together, have there been any issue or where you're like, "Ah, I'm done. I'm done. Like this is going out of what I can take. Like, have there been any issue like that? And how did you cope? Like, how were you able to overcome that particular? I mean, out of all the biggest that, if it's not because of God or because of anything, you would have left the marriage. Have there been any issue, and how did you resolve such issues?
We've had some big issues, but I don't recall one for me that ever led to divorce. I love this woman too much to ever want to be without her.
I think for us, we just kept coming back to this thing is not as big as our promise to each other to stay together. Fortunately, we haven't had any issues like infidelity or anything like that that have caused a person to really have to take a good look at that. I mean, I have a lot of respect for people who can work through huge issues like that. But I think that goes back to the fact that we've tried to put that hedge and guard our marriage. So it happened before we had a little seed of doubt or a little seed of infidelity that would have gone in there. But we just decided, it doesn't matter how I feel right now, it's the fact that we promised each other that we would stay together. So,
And considering my physical condition right now, I'm very disabled. This woman has lived up to her vows in ways that are amazing to me.
well, we said in sickness and in health. We didn't say in health and in sickness until we get sick of the sickness. We say in sickness and in health. So,
Wow. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Question.
you have a question? Okay.
Judging from what you've just said, does what she's been doing to the way she's been coping with you since you disabled, does it make you love her more?
I don't know that I could love her more. It doesn't diminish my love, but it strengthens my love.
Mm.
Strengthens very much.
Thank you, Richard. It was Richard that asked the question, the camera guy. Thank you. So the last question is, if you have, if you have any question, you can send to us and we'll try to ask the couples we interview. So, but this time around, we have a question like, if you have your partner that he is attracted to another lady, and not just only attracted to another lady, but he keeps calling her name in the dream. What are you going to do? Like, this is, you don't want to go through the route of divorce because you believe divorce is not the way out. So what are you going to do? And that is what I'm going to ask. So what would you do, please?
I can't imagine that. Have I ever done
No.
that? I have no answer to that because I can't even relate to the question.
Yeah, I guess we're just an unusual couple that is not even in our vocabulary of that. Sorry.
Yeah, but okay.
We're not dodging the question.
Yeah.
We don't have an answer.
Okay, so thank you. But what about if I'm the one? Like, I'm like, oh, please help me, my husband.
Oh,
Or what will you tell me to do? Like, I don't want to get divorced, and the man keeps calling a lady in the dream, and he's attracted to the lady. Like, he doesn't give me any more attention.
you're talking about a husband, your husband?
Yeah.
I think I would ask if I could talk to him and remind him of his vows to you. Find out if his vows were important to him.
Oh, so I'm putting myself in the woman's place, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, because it stabs, it hurts. If
Yeah.
you think that the person is not attracted to you or is consumed with that other person. And so I think it would be very tough because passions sometimes take precedence over our commitment. And I think that if somehow the couple could really just say, you know what, we need to get back to our commitment to each other, and these passions are fleeting. Passions can be fleeting. Because truly, you can feel or not feel. And it's just like we can't feel or not feel God's love. We can't base our relationship with Him on how we feel on a daily basis. We have to take the promises, the promise that God gave us and the promise that we give to God. Same thing with a couple, I think, is you can't go on a daily feeling basis, because if you go on how you feel all the time, it won't work. Because there are days that you just don't feel love, or you don't feel like the other person loves you. But so you can't go on that at all.
There are days when I don't feel like God loves me, but I know He does. I know in my heart that He does, but I don't feel it.
So I guess there would be a suggestion to get back to that commitment and not so much having everything right on the feelings. Because that person's going to feel very hurt.
Thank you. Thank you. So you've heard them, like if you're going through such particular issue, your partner is attracted to another lady or your wife is attracted to another guy, you just have to still keep being committed to the person. And marriage all the time is not all about feeling. You just have to hold on to the promise and just keep going. And
And it's also one of those things you have to talk about. You can't ignore it.
okay.
If you know that other person is attracted, you have to talk to them about it. Say, what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do about this? I'm not gonna ignore it. Now that I know, we have to talk about this.
See, he's tougher.
Yeah.
If I found out she was attracted to another man, we would be talking a lot.
Sir, has it ever happened to you? Sometimes, like you just said, sometimes you feel God doesn't love you. In such a moment, do you show it to her? I mean, in a kind of make things difficult for her.
I share a lot of my feelings with her, maybe too many, because it becomes a burden on her sometimes. Because I'm a feeler. I feel emotion, and maybe too deeply sometimes. But like I said, I also know in my head and in my heart that it's not true.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
most of the time, I don't feel that way. very seldom do I feel like
Thank you. That's actually a great question. Thank you, Richard. Like he was like, if you discover your partner, I think if I want to understand, like if you discover that you don't still have feeling for your partner for a particular period of time, will you still keep showing the things that are related to love? Like if you don't have that feeling, will you still care and keep showing that love? But yeah, just like what you said, you just have to keep showing and it's gonna come all together. So thank you. The last and last is like what what do you have to say to people out there that are just saying, oh, okay, I'm done. I need to leave. There might be different issues. Maybe some are just going through the fact that your husband had an affair, or like the person is in a rut of going through divorce. Like, please, what advice do you
Well, I don't think we can be our high horse and, give any, oh, if you just do this, this is gonna work. Because we've even seen it in our own family where we, people close to us where we said, oh, they have a great marriage. And then one of them just sort of goes off on a tangent and has affair or affairs, and my whole world got rocked then in terms of seeing how all of that unraveled. I don't think there was reconciliation unless the other person truly was ready to repent really to God and understand that it was wrong. But it always takes two to tango, it always takes two. And so I personally can't say, oh, well, if they would have just done this and this and this and this and this, everything would have been fine. And so I can't say that there's always going to be a way to not have divorce. I probably wouldn't have said that 10 years ago. But when you experience it and you see how it unravels, sometimes I think that happens. I don't think God ever likes divorce. But he also doesn't like affairs, and he doesn't like infidelity, and he doesn't like a person, taking drugs to the point or drinking to the point where they can't be responsible for anything. So I don't know if you have something to add to that.
You said pretty much what I would have said. I agree that there's no one answer to that question. Some of it comes down to your commitment. How much does your commitment mean to you? And make sure you've looked at it very carefully. That's a really big decision to make, to divorce somebody. That's a big decision. Don't make it lightly. Don't just be lazy about it. Go, oh, I'm done with this, and I'm gone. That is not a way to make a decision. I'm tired of this person. I'm sorry, that's too bad. You chose this person to marry. You chose this person. You can't just walk away lightly. You have to make an informed decision, and it should be a different decision than divorce.
And I'll just add one more thing, and this is not mine. There's a really great series called Love and Respect. And at the very end of it, it's like a 10 series thing, and they're talking about how to work out some of these problems. But at the very end of it, the person who is speaking, he says, if there's no way for you to reconcile and to figure this all out, really, what you can do is just look at your spouse who's doing all these horrible things maybe, and just say, I'm just going to love and respect that person unconditionally the way that God loves and respects me unconditionally. And I don't have to receive anything back.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Which means you don't divorce that person.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
That's really huge.
Wow.
I still have two questions, please. From what you've just said, does it mean you trying to say that does your happiness depend on your spouse?
100% no.
No. So your happiness shouldn't depend on your spouse. Yeah.
And the second question is this: you mentioned the way you deal with issues in your lives. If I should summarize it, do you did you say you did you have a kind of uh, the two of you, did you take a decision that okay, you don't want any third party person to come in between the two of you at a point in time?
Very early on, I would say we had been married maybe a year, and we talked, and from this person who suggested it to us, we talked and we said, we're going
We
to
want that.
commit to that.
We want that. We wanted some kind of protection that we both understood to surround our marriage. We made an agreement that we would not cross those boundaries. And we've lived up to it.
And, you know, Rod went to a different university and they had doors in their office areas that didn't have a window, similar to these doors. And one of his jobs was to teach private students one-on-one, so it would just be him and another student. And many times they were female students. And he
And I made him
said,
put a window up like
I
that.
will not teach a private student in my room until I get a window that will never be covered.
Yeah.
And so he really stood up to his commitment of, I know this is really a pain for the school to have to do this, but this is where I stand. I will not be in a situation where I'll be in a room by myself with a person from the opposite sex. So
And they got it in right
they
away.
did. Actually, they put him on all of the doors.
Oh,
Ah.
wow.
They realized it was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. I am so grateful to have both of you here. I am.
Absolutely.
It's a privilege, and I'm really honored. And thank you so much, and thank you to Richard. I just told you also today. I'm sorry for the impromptu, but thank you so much. And to all of you, you've all heard tonight, like today, divorce is not an option most of the time. Like you have to try to talk it out. That's one secret I learned today. Like when you have an issue, it's best for you both to talk out the issue out and also try to have unconditional love. Like that is one thing that's you. Even though when the partner is mean and you're going through a lot, you're not getting the happiness. Like happiness shouldn't be from your partner. That is also something I learned today. And still keep showing love and care. Once again, it's blessing, and the whole aspect of this platform, like I said in the beginning, is to try to encourage couples and even those that are planning to get married. That in marriage there are issues for 41 years, like there are issues, but there are ways for you to resolve such issues than the option of divorce. And the last thing is that when you have an apple, like I was thinking about this, like when you bought an apple from the market, it's all good from the beginning. Like it's, oh yeah, I need this apple, I need to eat this apple. But as you keep it, maybe you're not hungry, you keep it for a while. After some weeks, you start seeing some rotten, some stain. Some people decide to just throw the whole apple away. Why some people go through the route of cutting the parts that is not good and to eat the rest because the rest is good. So I hope that is what you're going to use for that. But thank you so much, and thank you. Woo!
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Richard. Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.